Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all to today's Zoom meeting. I'm Barry Cowan, today's presenter and host. I've been president of the DBCC since 2005, and I'm very glad to see all of you looking so happy and healthy today. We have a rather interesting meeting today. If you got your invitation on Monday, the 5th, it was the beginning of the worldwide developer conference that Apple held in California. The keynote address was to say one word would be absolutely amazing. It was at 1 p.m. Eastern time. You will find it on apple.com. And you can look at the keynote there and all the products that were presented. As I mentioned before the meeting started, I am not allowed to present anything from Apple's site without express permission, and therefore all I can do is talk about it and you can see it later. I do not wish to risk a major copyright strike, which I said if you have enough of them, Google can remove every one of your videos from YouTube. That would be 146, I think at the last count, would be gone. And that's something I would not like to risk. So given that information, let's talk a little bit about Father's Day coming up, June 18th. I want to wish all of you, fathers and grandfathers, if they're still alive, please give them a very special day. If they're not, please remember them and celebrate, or not celebrate, I should say, but observe whatever is required as you wish in your religion or faith. What's everybody going to do for Father's Day? What are you going to, has anyone got one that is living at this time? Okay.
Well, I have a husband who's a father.
Right. So what's going to be for him?
Probably a day at the casino.
Oh boy. I bet on that.
Yeah,
I
but
bet that's a good idea.
Do you go with
today
him,
it might
Marcia?
be a day at the doctor. He just ripped open his arm last night. He has very thin skin, and I just took a couple of minutes to go look at it. And I think I may end up getting off this and going to the doctor with him. So if you see me disappear, that's why.
How did he do this?
Apparently, he got up in the dark and tripped or something and banged his arm against something. I don't know what yet. And he just ripped up a whole section of skin, and it looks pretty deep, and I'm very concerned.
I understand. Whenever you're this age, I'll be 80 in September, anything you hit or touch causes a bruise because your skin changes
this is not
as
a
you grow
bruise.
older.
This is a few layers of skin missing.
Okay. Well, good luck. We'll be praying
everything will be okay with him, Marcia.
We pray.
Thank you.
Hope he'll be okay.
Thank you.
Marcia, do you go to the casino, the Harrah's?
We have no Harrah's here in New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
I certainly went to them on the way from Florida to New Mexico. We went to two different ones, and we do go to the Harrah's in Pompano.
Okay, let's get back on topic, please. The Worldwide Developers Conference is presented every year. They gather developers from Apple, the purpose of which is to look at what they can do for the products that are being presented. And they had a whole bunch of them there. As I say, you can look at them at apple.com. One of them would just blow you away. It's the Apple VR mixed reality headset, AR/VR. It's selling, I think, for $3,499. It's going to be available next year sometime. And they're getting all the developers together to develop apps. You know, a product is no good unless there's apps for it. And that's true with any product, whether it be Android or Apple. In the case of Android, it's the Google Play Store. In the case of Apple, it's the App Store. In the case of the Chromebook, it's the Chromebook Store. In the case of Microsoft, it's the Microsoft Store. Every one of them has its own set of apps that are designed to work with its products. Okay, let me see if I can begin this presentation here. Give me a second to share, I hope.
And of course, there are some apps that work across all different products.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Can you see that screen?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now let me see how to get on it again. I have to move this thing out of here, so I'm gonna have to disappear for a few seconds. Okay. All right. Today is Friday, June the 9th, 2023. I'm amazed at how quickly time has gone by. It seems like summer is already here in South Florida. We've just about had almost a swipe of a tropical storm here that just missed us. Didn't cause much damage, but the hurricane season is in full force here from June 1st until November 30th. So be aware that you should be making hurricane preparations at any point, even though we might be lucky like last year. They say this may be active because El Nino may or may not be available, and the water is extremely warm, which is like a way to develop all of the currents that create hurricanes and are favorable for their production. That being said, here's our mission. You know what it is, and I hope we met it. The most important thing to me is the bottom one. If I could share any statement that would be most representative of what we do, it's building confidence. And how do you build confidence? You try things. You don't give up. I don't give up until I figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, I'll call someone to help me figure it out. That's the way I've always been in my entire life. I've taught over 35,000 students, and I have built confidence through all of their implementations. I think I should have muted everybody, but just keep that in mind, please. Remember this? It said, can you see that? I don't think I've got it up high enough. Well, let me go back. It's if you give somebody in a generation, you put them in a room with a rotary phone, an analog watch, and a TV with no remote, and then leave directions on how to use in cursive. And that's what you've got today. We have people in the supermarkets that cannot figure out change without going to a calculator or something, and you have to say it loud, or the supervisor could give them a talking to afterwards. If it costs $10 and you give them 20, they've got to say 10 out of 20. If they don't, they could be dismissed. That's how it is these days. And kids can't even write cursive. This is terrible. And our generation, everything that we learned how to do is basically in the John. Okay, we're going to talk about the Worldwide Development Conference in 2023. It ended today, and they've been contributing a lot of stuff to it. Every year it happens about this time, and Tim Cook, who is the CEO of Apple, gives a keynote presentation, which you'll find on apple.com, and you simply click on the keynote, which is right there. It was 2 full hours, and I looked at all 2 hours, but the big highlight was the new headset, AR VR headset, 3D virtual reality and augmented reality, and that was over 35 or 40 minutes of the final presentation, making it probably the biggest presentation they've had in a long time. Here's what it presented, basically. 2 new 15-inch MacBooks, one with a MacBook Air laptop with the M1 chip, a MacBook Pro with a Mac Studio update, and they also have the ones with the M2 chip. Now, the one thing you got to realize is when they present a product and they say, oh, this is the fastest thing since jets or everything. No, it's not necessarily true, because these things have been tried, but you have to make your own judgment as to what you want to pay, because as these products come out, sometimes they don't keep pace with the programming and the architecture that's necessary to keep them up to date. And a lot of people know that Apple wants you to spend money. That's how they become a $1 trillion company. So they're hoping that you'll update to the latest version. And I say that's not necessarily a requirement, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my motto. If you have something that's working, there's no need to pay for something else that may not work for you either. And one of the things that you must always consider is compatibility. How compatible is what you've got with what you're going to get, no matter what it is, whether it be a laptop, a desktop, whether it be a phone, a tablet, whatever it might be, you have to make sure that there's compatibility. Tim presented iOS 17, iPad OS 17, TV OS 17, and a new Watch OS 10. Be advised that what we're presenting today may not work with the device that you currently have, and it may not even work with what you will buy in the future because of the compatibility issues. For example, with iOS 17, Apple dropped support for iPhone 8, 8 Plus. The only one that's good is XR and the XR and greater. So as time goes by, Apple drops support for outdated items. And in many cases, the items will not be compatible with the new iOS. So you have to watch out for that. Improved messaging. AirPods with adaptive audio, something they call a Safari WebKit. Again, you can look that up. Video conferencing with a presenter overlay. FaceTime now has been completely changed. You have to look at that. AirPlay support is now going to be added to hotels. So you can take AirPlay if you, of course, remember that you've got to watch your security. If you have a VPN, you can mirror what you have on your display like I do here. Or when I show you how I interactively go through my iPhone. And SharePlay is going to be added to cars, a new update to cars that support it. And the big thing was the new mixed reality Vision Pro 3D headset. The price is $3,499. I doubt if that will drop, and it will be probably in the spring before you see it. It needs to have apps developed for it and a lot more things, and it needs to be tested better. Number one, because as some people noted to me, I think it was Marcia, that you can get nauseous from some of these things when they have motion in them. And I'm sure I don't want to be out there walking in the street with that on, and before you know it, you'll be mugged, and the headset will be stolen. It'll probably be one of the thieves' targets if they break into an Apple store. So it's best done privately in the own home or in a secure area. That's the problem right now. The only thing more popular than buying things is stealing them. That's the way we live these days. Now, there's a whole bunch of things that came up, like contact posters, offline maps, name drop, autocorrect, journals, Siri without hey. That's interesting. You won't have to say hey Siri anymore. You simply just say Siri, and it will do multiple commands. Live transcripts of voicemail, FaceTime messaging, live this and live that. Just amazing stuff. So the following videos that I'm going to show you are from Apple support. I make the following disclaimer. I have permission from Apple support to use these videos in any presentation or publish them on my website to the public. I thank Apple for their permission to do this. And now let's go on. The first thing we're going to talk about is something that a lot of people ask me. I just got a new phone. How can I transfer data to it? Let's watch and listen.
New iPhone? You can use iCloud to transfer your apps and data from your previous iPhone and easily set up your new device. First, make sure your previous iPhone and new iPhone are nearby. Then swipe up from the bottom edge of the new iPhone and follow the on-screen instructions until you see the Quick Start screen. On the previous iPhone, you'll see a prompt to set up the new iPhone. Confirm the Apple ID that appears and tap Continue. Hold your previous iPhone over the new iPhone so the animation displayed on the new device appears within the circle. Once the circle turns green, you can finish the Quick Start process on your new iPhone. Enter your previous iPhone passcode. Then follow the prompts to activate cellular service and set up Face ID. On the Transfer Your Data screen, choose Download from iCloud. Then, review the terms and conditions and tap Agree to continue. Review the data that will be transferred to your new iPhone. Then you can tap Continue or tap Customize to make changes. Now your previous iPhone will begin backing up your apps and data to iCloud. If you don't have enough available iCloud space, you will get free temporary iCloud storage to complete the backup. Make sure your iPhone stays connected to Wi-Fi while backing up. The time it takes varies based on the size of the backup and your network speed. Next, you'll see the Restore from iCloud screen on your new iPhone. Once the progress bar is complete, you can start using your new iPhone. Content like apps, photos, music, and other data will continue to restore in the background. If you'd like to keep backing up to iCloud, you can subscribe to iCloud Plus. Set up a new iPhone with iCloud.
Okay, I am not going to talk more about it at this time, but afterwards I'll show you how to get more iCloud storage space. It costs 99 cents a month to get 50 gigabytes, and it's well worth it. Okay, now let's look at a video that tells you often your iPhone will just freeze. So let's see what you can do to fix that problem.
If your iPhone, iPad, or iPod Touch freezes on the Apple logo during startup, here's what to do. We'll show you how to force restart your device first, and then if you still need help, how to enter recovery mode. Before you start, make sure you have access to a Mac or Windows computer and a compatible cable. If you don't have a computer, you can borrow one from a friend. Your device will need to be turned on, and you should also charge it for up to an hour beforehand. First, we'll try force restarting. This process won't erase the content on your device. If you have an iPhone 10 or later, a second-generation iPhone SE, an iPhone 8, or an iPhone 8 Plus, press and quickly release the volume up button. Then press and quickly release the volume down button. Then press and hold the side button until your iPhone restarts. Your screen should go black, and then the Apple logo will appear. On an iPad with Face ID, press and quickly release the volume up button. Then press and quickly release the volume down button. Then press and hold the top button until your iPad restarts. Your screen should go black, and then the Apple logo will appear. If you have an iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, or a 7th generation iPod Touch, press and hold both the top or side button and the volume down button until your device restarts. Your screen should go black, and then the Apple logo will appear. If you have an iPad with a home button, iPhone 6s or earlier, or a 6th generation iPod Touch or earlier, press and hold both the home button and the top or side button until your device restarts. Your screen should go black, and then the Apple logo will appear. If your device is still frozen, here's how to enter recovery mode. First, connect your device to a computer. If you're using macOS Catalina or later, open the Finder. If you're using macOS Mojave or earlier, or you're on a Windows computer, you'll use the latest version of iTunes. Keeping your device connected, follow these steps to enter recovery mode. If you have an iPhone 10 or later, a second generation iPhone SE, iPhone 8, or iPhone 8 Plus, press and quickly release the volume up button. Then press and quickly release the volume down button. Then press and hold the side button until you see the recovery mode screen. This may take a moment or two. On an iPad with Face ID, press and quickly release the volume up button. Then press and quickly release the volume down button. Then press and hold the top button until you see the recovery mode screen. This may take a moment or two. On an iPhone 7, iPhone 7 Plus, or a 7th generation iPod Touch, press and hold the side or top button and the volume down button at the same time. Keep holding the buttons until you see the recovery mode screen. This may take a moment or two. If you have an iPad with a home button, iPhone 6s or earlier, or a 6th generation iPod Touch or earlier, press and hold the side or top button and the home button at the same time. Keep holding the buttons until you see the recovery mode screen. This may take a moment or two. On your computer, you should see the option to update your device. Click Update, and the Finder or iTunes will download and install the latest version of iOS or iPadOS on your device. Just follow the prompts and be sure not to disconnect your device while you see the Apple logo and progress bar on the screen. If the update fails, you'll be prompted to restore your device. It will restore to factory settings, and you will need a backup to recover any data. If the download takes longer than 15 minutes, your device will exit recovery mode. To re-enter recovery mode, you'll need to repeat the button presses described in the previous section. After the update is completed, your device should restart and you should see your lock screen. If you still need help, contact Apple support to speak with an advisor. To learn more about your devices, subscribe to the Apple support channel or click another video to keep watching.
Boy, that's a lot to go through, but I think you'll be okay. We'll discuss that a little bit afterwards. The next one is interesting. A lot of people tell that the easiest phone to use or device to use is an Apple device, not an Android. Here's the proof of how you can move someone from Android to iPhone. Listen.
It's easy to move from Android to iOS. Here's how to transfer your photos, contacts, messages, and more. Before you start, your Android device should have Wi-Fi turned on, and both your devices should be plugged into power. You should also double-check that you have enough space on your iPhone for the content you're transferring over. It's best not to finish setting up your iPhone before you begin this process. If you've already set it up, you'll need to erase it and start over. If you choose not to erase it, you can move your content over manually. All right, let's get started. First, follow the on-screen instructions on your iPhone to start setting it up. On the Apps and Data screen on your iPhone, tap Move Data from Android. If you haven't done so already, you'll need to install the Move to iOS app on your Android device. You can download the Move to iOS app from Google Play or scan the QR code on your iPhone by tapping the QR code button in the top right corner of your screen. On your iPhone, tap Continue. A 6-digit or 10-digit code will appear. On your Android device, open the Move to iOS app and tap Continue. If you agree to the terms and conditions, tap Agree, then tap Continue. On your Android device, enter the code displayed on your iPhone. Tap Continue, then tap Connect. Now, just wait until the Transfer Data screen appears on your Android device and select the content that you want to transfer. You can move your Google account, messages, contacts, and other things like accessibility and display settings. Now, tap Continue. Even if your Android device says the process is complete, leave both your devices alone until the loading bar on your iPhone finishes. Depending on how much content you're moving, this process can take a little while. When the loading bar on your iPhone finishes, tap Done on your Android device. Next, on your iPhone, tap Continue Setting Up iPhone and follow the on-screen steps to finish setup. It's that simple. Now your content should be transferred. and all of your important information is right where you expect it. To learn more about your iPhone, from useful tips to helpful features, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel or click another video to keep watching. Some sequences in this video were shortened.
You see, we've got 148 videos there right now, and thank heavens I got permission to use these because it'd be very difficult otherwise. Okay, the next video is showing you how to add faces to the Apple Watch. I know a lot of you have them. Now remember, everything that I'm showing may or may not be used or be compatible with the phone that you have or the tablet you have or whatever. You just have to check it out to find out.
You can easily customize an Apple Watch face that works best for you, right from your iPhone. Here's how. In the Watch app on your iPhone, tap Face Gallery. Choose a face from the gallery. You can customize the watch face by changing options like color, style, complications that appear, and more. To change a complication, scroll down and tap the one you want to change. Tap a complication from the list to add it. When you're finished, tap Add to save the face to My Faces. A face for every adventure. Not all watch faces are available on all Apple Watch models or in all regions.
Okay, that was pretty easy. Apple has also made a great deal of headway in the health area. You'll find with iOS 17 that you're going to be able to do many things on the watch with health. Of course, I could just tell you to look online to find that. I can't preview that directly. I wish I could. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to view or how to take a portrait on your iPhone. iPhone is very famous for photography, and most people are amazed when they see some of these pictures that were taken with an iPhone, even the earlier models, how much better they are than a standard camera in many cases, or can emulate it. So let's take a look.
When you use portrait mode on your iPhone, you can adjust the depth of field, choose a lighting effect, and more. In Camera, swipe to select portrait mode. To choose the best zoom level for your subject, tap the number in the bottom left. You can choose a lighting effect by swiping through the options. If you change your mind later, just edit the photo to try something else. To adjust the background blur, look for the depth control button in the top right corner. Then use the slider above the shutter to make your adjustment. When you're ready to take the picture, tap the shutter. And that's how you take your photos further.
Boy, that's amazing. And I will show you that on my iPhone as soon as we conclude these videos. Hope you're enjoying them so far. Now, here's something that's very important. Apple, as I say, is making special use of the watch for health purposes. There are also health apps that are constantly coming out. Here's one on how to view AFib history in health. Let's listen and take a look.
If you've been diagnosed by a doctor with atrial fibrillation, you can turn on AFib history to see an estimate of how frequently your heart is in this arrhythmia. You'll need an Apple Watch Series 4 or later, including Apple Watch SE with Watch OS 9 or later. You also need the latest version of iOS 16 on your iPhone. AFib history is for users aged 22 and older. On your iPhone, tap Browse in the Health app. Then tap Heart. Scroll down to the Get More from Your Health section, and under AFib history, tap Setup. Read the brief introduction and tap Get Started. Next, you'll need to enter your birth date and confirm that your doctor has diagnosed you with AFib. Otherwise, this feature isn't for you. Tap Continue. On the next few screens, you'll read more about how AFib history works, the results you may see, other life factors you can track to see if they might affect your AFib, and 5 things you should know about AFib history tracking. When you're done, AFib history is automatically added to your favorites in the Summary tab. Results will appear after about a week of wearing your Apple Watch for at least 12 hours a day. Find AFib history in your favorites or in the Browse tab under Heart. You can also tap Show Life Factors below the results to understand how key factors may influence your condition. And that's how to track your AFib history.
That's an extremely important thing as time goes by. Your doctor will want to have that information. I just had a physical and I showed what was on my watch, and I showed several instances where I had some arrhythmia for a variety of personal reasons, which I will not go into, but it was very useful, excuse me, to give this information to your physician. All right, the next thing is, we all love to take pictures out at night, especially of the moon, but you don't realize that as soon as you go outside and it's dark, the iPhone kicks into night mode. So let's watch and listen and see what you can do with it.
Take better low-light photos with night mode. Here's how. Night mode turns on automatically in low light. If you'd like to adjust exposure time, tap the night mode icon. Now, take a photo. Hold still until the capture completes. Lighten up the night.
That one's quite interesting. And let's see what I've got next. Oh, how would you like to take a mirrored selfie? Let's take a look.
With iOS 14 or later, you can take a mirrored selfie. To turn it on, in Settings, tap Camera. Then turn on Mirror Front Camera. Now, you'll capture your photo just as you see it.
These are called Apple Shorts because they're less than a minute, but they do come out quite well. How about using a flashlight on the Apple Watch? You know, it can be used in an emergency situation at night. There's not only a flash on your phone, but there's also a flash capability on the Apple Watch. Let's see how that's done.
Out for a walk after sunset? Here's how to use your Apple Watch as a flashlight to help light your path. Swipe up from the bottom of your Apple Watch screen to open Control Center. Tap the flashlight button. You can swipe to choose between a steady white light, a flashing white light, or a red light. After you choose a flashlight, rotate your wrist away from you to brighten the screen. Light your way.
You can also do that and set up alerts on your phone, you know, to flash when somebody calls you. We'll talk about that later too, if I have a little bit of time. Okay, finally, we had a question earlier from Steve about iCloud, running out of iCloud storage. Now, I pay 99 cents a month to Apple to get 50 gigabytes of storage, and it's well worth it, because if you constantly backing up your iPhone or your device, it takes up a lot of space, especially when you've had an update, and you could run out of space, in which case you'll get a warning that no more pictures can be taken, no more video, etc., etc. So here's one way you can look at it. What to do. This is the final video, so please pay attention, it's important.
If your iCloud storage is running low, there are a few things you can do to make room. We'll show you how to upgrade to iCloud Plus and share some tips on how to manage your storage. Let's see how to get more storage with iCloud Plus. In Settings, tap your name, and then tap iCloud. Here, you can see how much space you're using. If you want to subscribe to iCloud Plus, tap Manage Storage. Then tap Upgrade or Change Storage Plan, depending on your current iCloud usage. You can select the plan that's right for you and follow the prompts to upgrade. If you're new to iCloud Plus, you'll get new features like Private Relay, Hide My Email, and expanded HomeKit secure video support. You can also manage your iCloud storage by deleting files and documents you no longer need. When you delete something in iCloud, it's deleted across all your synced devices. Before you start, be sure to make a copy, either on your computer or an external hard drive, of anything you plan on deleting in iCloud but want to save. In your iCloud storage settings, you'll see your apps using iCloud, listed by the amount of space they take up. You can use this as a reference to help you decide what to remove, like duplicate pictures and videos in the Photos app, iCloud Drive documents you no longer need in the Files app, and attachments from conversations if you've turned on Messages in iCloud. Try this. In a Messages conversation, tap the Contact at the top and scroll down. You'll see photos, videos, documents, and other things you've shared or that have been shared with you in this conversation. You can tap See All to view and delete anything you no longer want to store in iCloud or keep on your devices. And that's a look at some ways you can manage your iCloud storage. With more room, you can add more of the photos, videos, and documents you need. To learn more about how to use your iPhone or iPad, subscribe to the Apple Support YouTube channel, or click another video to keep watching. When using the beta of Private Relay, some websites may have issues, like showing content for the wrong region or requiring extra steps to sign in.
Okay, and that's it. You find those videos useful? I hope you did. There's a lot of stuff there, but remember, it's all going to be on the club site under YouTube videos. And I've captioned them. I've not captioned them. I've put chapters in them. If you looked at the last one, I've actually got it broken down by chapters so that if you want to see, say, the first video and maybe the 5th video or the 7th video, you just click on that time area under the description. And you'll be able to go right to that video so you don't have to watch all of them before you decide what you want to look at. I hope you'll look at them all because they're pretty significant. Again, you should have the ability to choose what you want to see. Okay, I'm going to go over to the iPhone now if there aren't any questions. Okay, let me hang on here 1 second. I'm going to try and do this. Ain't that easy. All right, give me a second here. Okay. You all heard the sound, right? I have to put a plug in here. Hang on. Okay. We are now connected. I have to go to the mirroring and then I have to select this and we should be coming up with it very quickly. There we go. You all see that?
Yes.
Good. Okay, we'll go back to my beginning here. Swipe up. Notice I've got a very interesting wallpaper background there. You just see the iPhone now, right?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so how did I do that? Well, if you just hold down, wait a minute, didn't do that right. and swipe down from the top and hold there, you can customize your screen. This happens to be the one for Pride or Focus, and you can just click. You can pick up photos that you have from your phone, people. You can pick up emojis, weather, astronomy, colors. You can add new wallpaper. And then when you do, you can decide, hey, I want to keep this here. Oh, there's my cousin's flight. It just arrived in New York. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So I can swipe that out. And now, if I want to go look at the moon, for example, this is the one in astronomy, and it will actually change as as time goes by and the moon has phases. A lot of these things allow you to add widgets, and widgets is going to be a big part of iOS 17. Remember, everything that I showed you will not necessarily work on your phone. In some cases, you may need to have an iPhone 14 or later, or you may need to have a different iPad, but still, we have to wait and see. iOS 17 won't be out for a while yet. My guess is there'll be another update to 16 before 17 comes out. It'll be a very minor thing, but I encourage everybody to put them in because they contain security updates. And as you know, there are many security flaws. So let's go through our settings again. I want to emphasize that when you buy something, the first thing I look at is what? Well, battery. I'm not going to buy something where the battery is not working properly. The larger the device is, the bigger the battery is. In some cases, Apple, you can't remove the battery. It's not removable. You have to take it to a shop to be changed. And how do you know when you need to remove it? Well, you have a section called Battery, Health, and Charging. Now, remember, we talked about that. It's last charged to 80%. And then at 80%, it will stop because that's what we call optimum. And it will start charging. It will tell you then up to 100%. Remember, these are lithium-ion batteries that have a memory in them. If you charge them down too low, then they may not charge all the way up. It's going to take a lot longer. And this reduces your battery's health life. It shows you here, what I'm using it for. I've got a ton of stuff. So let's go over and look at the battery health and charging. I still have 92% after a year and a half or more. So I'm not going to trade this in for any new iPhone that's coming out. No way. This thing is still going to work. And I know that I have a phone above an XR. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max that will work with any of the iOS 17 features. So let's say most of the iOS 17 features that are coming out in the future. Look at the capacity, and this must be checked. Optimize battery charging. What does that do? To reduce battery aging, it learns from your daily charging routine, so it can wait to finish charging past 80% until you need to use it. If you have this on, once it gets to 80%, it will stop charging, and it will say resuming charging at such and such a point. Well, that's going to change in iOS 17, for example. When you update something like software, you don't have to have a minimum of 50% anymore. It's 20% to charge up to full. So that's going to make a big difference. And clean energy is also checked because it will reduce the carbon footprint by charging when lower carbon emission electricity is available. So that's an important thing. I want you to remember that. It tells you when it was last charged. And look at all the stuff I got. I'll show you what I've got. Let's see. I'm at settings. I go to general and I look at about. Take a look. I've got 1,021 songs that I use when I play my keyboard. I simply play it there. and then I try to translate it to the keyboard. And as a musician, I know which chords to use and everything like that on the piano. And I'll still play my accordion that I started using when I was 7 years old. But there's 1,021 songs, 35 videos, 266 photos, 177 apps, and out of 256, I've still got 193 available. That's amazing. And the reason that's true is because as Apple has come out with new software videos, I found that software updates rather, excuse me, I found that they're compressed to a point where they don't take up as much space as they used to. And there's a shining example of that. Also, they've established picture-in-picture. So if you're in you can go on one video, you can watch it, and then and go somewhere else on the phone, and that video will stay in a picture that you can move with your finger or a stylus up and down the screen, and it will still keep its position. It will still be playing in the background. Of course, sometimes that can create battery issues. Remember, the things that really do create battery issues are when you have things like you put on auto lock and go to settings. What I did right now on display and brightness is to prevent this from turning off, I set it up to auto lock never. Well, you should set it for 30 seconds or a minute. Otherwise, it's going to be using battery. It's going to stay bright. The new feature in iOS 17 will keep everything bright. So you have to be very careful with the watch and the phone to make sure that you're not using too much battery. Background refresh is another thing that eats battery. Keep that off if you don't need it. Okay. Let's see what we have. Yeah, Bluetooth is an issue. A lot of times we've had people here like Dr. Don Grossman had problems because of Bluetooth compatibility. If you have too many devices at one time, they start to compete with each other. So make sure if you're not using something, turn it off. You might show up in the car or whatever, and it might conflict with something else when you're out of the car. Also, Bluetooth is very vulnerable to hacking. So if you have a device that uses a fob, like in your car, every time you press that button to open your car, a signal is emitted. And there are devices that you can buy on Amazon that will detect that, enabling a thief to open your car, connect through the Bluetooth, and possibly get the information in it to drive it away. Remember, when you get gas, always stay very close to the front where people can see what's going on. Don't go to the last pump on the end. Okay, I'm getting some a little bit of feedback here because we don't have a great connection in the house right now. Okay, let's go on to accessibility. Wait a second. I'm going to stop the share one moment because it looks like I got some. Do you hear some background noise in the recording? I don't know if I can shut that off. It looks like we're getting some feedback. Let me see what I can do.
Sounds like a strange animal in the house.
Yeah, we should try to mute everybody out. If somebody's got background. If everybody mute yourself, please, so I can hear. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, it's just light. Well, let me try again. I still want to go through this. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of all that. Let me try again here. Sorry about that, but that's just technology. And my headset's coming through my headset too. It sounds like I'll be laying an egg any minute. Oh, gosh. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. all that breaking news. I get tons of stuff that comes on there. Let's see. Where was I?
You were on accessibility.
Yeah, there's voiceover, there's display and text side. We showed you spoken content. I gotta see what's going on here. Stand by, please. There should be something in here that I can. Yeah, it's using an awful lot of, for some reason, of signal. I may have to stop pretty soon, early. Okay, I have to talk much lower in the headset. That might be the issue here. I apologize for that, but there's not much I can do about it at this point. Let me go back and see if I can share the screen again. Okay. This happens, and if it happens to you, you learn from it. Okay, there we go. Now let's get back in. I think I'm going to whisper. I don't want to wake up the sleeping pills. I'm next to the bathroom, but that's what I have to do. Okay. We're going to go to Zoom, and it looks like we're in mirroring mode. There you go. All right. Now, how do you mirror something? Well, that's very easy. You go down, swipe down from the right. Do you see anything? Oh, hold it. Now I'm being paused. Let's see. Keep going back in. There's something going on here. I'm not giving up, folks. Okay. Slowly, Barry. Click and go, please. These things happen even in the other meetings. It can be very difficult sometimes. Okay, screen mirroring. How is that found? Let me get out of this here so you can see what's going on. Okay, screen sharing is right here. You see this thing going up and back? This is mirroring. And what you do with mirroring is you're sending your device's screen right over to your TV or your phone. Some TVs work with mirroring and AirPlay. So you can check with your TV provider or look on the settings for AirPlay, which will tell you whether or not, your TV will support it. Just like you'd go in your car to see if it supports CarPlay. A lot of them don't. The older cars don't, the newer cars do. So let's see. I swipe down from here, and there it is. So that's showing it. So now I can go up, and I can show anything on here. Is there anything in particular you'd like me to look at? Here's general. We went through that. Control center. I have a lot of stuff in there that I use in my control center, and this is your control center. Up here I have airplane mode. One way to make sure you charge pretty quickly is to turn on airplane mode, because that disables wireless and everything else. When you're up in the air, they may say, please put on airplane mode so that you're not interfering with the controls that the pilot uses in order to fly the plane. That is possible in certain circumstances, that there could be an interfering signal, particularly from a foreign element. And that's a way they hack into those signals. So I'm kind of scared of it. Here is your cellular. If you're using cellular, all you have to do is go up here. This tells you, in fact, you can just press on it. And that gives you all of the options or functions. You can turn your airplane mode on or off. You can turn your cellular data on or off. If you put your cellular data on, remember that you're using battery because it's searching for a signal. So if you're not in need of cellular, you're not near a cellular tower, don't use it. I turn everything off until I know I'm in an area that I think will be user-friendly, and then I can turn it on. But anytime you're searching for a signal, you're losing battery. There's AirDrop, and there's personal hotspot. If you have the fortune to have one of those set up, you can use it. Over here, you have Bluetooth. Just press on it and you'll see all the options. That's my Wi-Fi networks, apartment C224. It tells me whether Bluetooth is on or off. Okay. Over here, I have the wireless stuff. Tells me again, pretty much repeats. Over here, you have portrait mode. This is very interesting. If you lock your portrait down, it will stay in one position. When you turn the phone horizontally, it will stay as portrait mode. So make sure your portrait lock is off. That way you can move the phone this way, right? I'm moving it this way, I can't do it. But if I click this off, now, well, some of them work and some won't. This one particularly doesn't do it that way. Okay. Here's your flashlight down here. If you press the flashlight, you can turn it on or off or move it up and down to decide how bright or dark you want it. Here is a very interesting one with text size. You can increase your text size with the slider up and down. Here you've got music. I have a music recognition. I have Apple Music subscription, which I love, and that's for the music control. This one's interesting here. You can make a screen recording of everything you do using photos. You can include notifications will be recorded, and you can record anything. That's what I'm going to do next time, like Bob Gastisha does. He pre-records all his screens, so he can't get any copyright infringement issues. Okay. See how small that became? And now if I want to say, hey, wait a minute, I can't see that. I'm going to raise that text up, make it a little brighter. And I've got my text right here. I'm going to make it a little larger. I'll bring it up to 120% and watch the difference. See? Now it's much more legible, and that's a good thing to do. Here's your wallpaper. You can switch it off or make different kinds. This is the newest one that I use called Pride. They're going to see a whole bunch of them with iOS 17, which may or may not be compatible with your device on i17. It may be good for the new iPhones or the most modern iPhones, but you really don't need it if you don't have to use all these features. As I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All right, so I have so many things here, I can't even begin to show you what I've got on here, all those apps. But there's a nice place where they all come up in the app library. So if you want to find something, just swipe over to the app library, click there, and just type in the name of something. Say you want to see, App Store. It finds it for you immediately. And then when you click on it, boom, it comes right up with the Apple News and everything. So another one you might be interested in is this app that I found on Apple called Tips. And this is built into the operating system. See the tips? They've now put it into a feature called Collections. So you can actually go through. It's right now in iOS 16. When 17 comes out, all this will change. Shows you your app, what watch you have, how to customize it, user guides. For example, camera tips. You can look at all the videos I've been showing there and just play them right there, and they're interactive. How to take a photo timer. If you're looking at photos, I've showed you some of these already as Apple support. You can look at them. If you want Siri, they can show you how to use Siri. This is all iOS 16 stuff now. A lot of it's going to be upgraded and be different. Accessibility, use a magnifier. Lighting up your alerts. I like that one because if somebody calls me, they can, I think I can show you this. Let's take a look. I don't know if I can, no. But what it is, you use a flash on your iPhone to help you notice incoming calls and other alerts. Go to Settings, Accessibility, Audio Visual, and then turn on LED flash for alerts. So someone calls you, you're going to see your phone flash, and that alerts you. Okay, so that's that. All right. I've enjoyed this meeting. I mean, we've had very few people. I see only 10 or 12, but as I say, I'm very grateful for your participation. And next week, or 2 weeks, I should say, on June 23rd, we're going to have Jerry Rogan come back. You know how good his presentation was on iPhone. He's considered the iPhone expert now at APCUG, one of, and he's going to do a presentation on iPhone security. We don't know if it's going to have iOS 17 updated yet. By then, we'll see. Usually there's a 1 month or more difference before the iOS comes out. This thing is going to be huge, and it's going to take time to install. Again, remember to set up your automatic downloading. Go to software, the update, and then set it up to install as they come down. Or you can set it up just to download. If you do that, oh, let me put it back up so I can show you. Boy, I'm just full of it today, am I? There's the mirroring. Let me get back in here. Okay, give me a second. Oh, there we go. Good. So if we're going up to our settings, we're going to do general. Oh, we don't want that now. We want to go to software update. Now, keep your automatic updates on. Now, beta updates are for developers. You may be able to want it to develop or download the beta, but be advised that's in buggy mode. The reason you're a beta tester, like I am in some cases, is to determine what the bugs are. Don't you be the first one to buy the newest car off the assembly line. Let somebody else drive it and test it for a while before you decide that you want to buy it. And that's the advice I give you. And that's all I've got for today. Did you learn something today? Raise your hand.
Yes.
Good. It's been a pleasure being with you again, as usual, looking happy and healthy. And I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks on June 23rd. I think this is a good time to end this meeting. I don't have much to say. I have a lot to do. My cousin just arrived in New York. I have to make a lot of phone calls and things like that. So, Marcia, we're praying for your husband, whatever it is, that he's got a good, clean bill of health from whatever it was. We don't want to.
Thank you. Also, I had one quick question, which
Yes.
is why my hand is still up there.
I'm sorry.
To use that Apple Support subscription, to subscribe to Apple Support, does that cost anything or is that free?
No, that's cost. Depends. It will tell you if it says if something is not free, it will say in something, where you click on it. Apple Support, where was that? Is that the icon?
You were telling us that we can look at a lot of things if we subscribe to Apple Support.
Oh, you have to check that out. Depending on what you're looking at, it will tell you whether there's a charge or not. Like for iCloud storage, it's 99 cents a month for 50 gigabytes.
No,
It
I
will
know
put-
that. No, I meant just for just for Apple support.
All right,
Subs-
let's take, all right, hang on, let me take a look. We'll do that as a final thing. I'll share it back.
Marcia, if you have the if you have the app on your camera, there shouldn't be any charge.
Okay,
Okay, we'll look at here real quick. All right, let's see what I've got here. Okay, let me move this
I
out of the way.
downloaded the app for Apple support and there's no charge.
No,
okay, thank you.
you go to the
Thank
app, you're talking about the App Store. Okay, you go to search and type in Apple support. It's a downloaded app, but it's free. Okay, there it is. Download it and it tells you right there, see? We're here to-
Just when it's just says open, that means free, right?
That means, yeah, it's already on there.
Okay,
If you haven't downloaded it, download it from Apple Store and then it will open right there and it's completely free. There's no charge for that.
okay, great. By the way, we use that flashing for incoming calls because Paul's hearing isn't all that great. And so that helps for him. And for me, it helps because my phone is often lost in my pocketbook. But if it's flashing, it's much easier to find when there's this bright light going off somewhere in my deep pocketbook.
Oh, that's right. That's a different kind of flasher than I've seen at the subways. No, okay. I don't think that's the intended use. Okay, folks, stay healthy, stay well. This video will be posted tomorrow morning on the club site. Again, please subscribe by going to the lower right-hand corner. You'll see our logo. You'll then see a subscribe button. Please do that. Leave a comment below for me to tell me whether you thought it was interesting or not. And that's all I have for today. So
Thank you, Barry. Thank
okay.
you.
Say goodbye, everybody. Let me have
Bye.
let me have my coffee.
Cold.
Boy, that's good. Yes. How sweet it is. All right. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. Stay well.
Bye-bye.
Bye.